Welcome to the channel. Welcome to today's run through of all the latest Manchester United news and transfer updates, keeping you right up to date with everything. I'm Jamie. Before getting into it, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's jump straight into it. So let's kick off with all the latest regarding Ruben Amorim. So interestingly, Samuel Lucas came out saying that those of us on the United patch are veterans of manager sackings now. We have a good gauge when the manager is done, and all the signs suggest Ruben Amorim is. So Samuel Lucas come out suggesting that, because they've been through the manager cycles at United, just like we have, just like you have, just like I have, and that the gauge from the journalistic perspective is that all the signs are pointing towards the inevitable, which is that Ruben Amorim loses his job unless less results do pick up results and performances as well. So that was interesting from Samuel Lucas, but more, and Samuel Lucas is a bit of a shit stirrer. He's somebody that would like to put the knife in somebody's back, I think, as well. But the Athletic was saying the same thing the other day as well. So Adam Crafton on the Athletic, and the Athletic are a good source, and I think, in my opinion anyway, more trusted journalists work for the Athletic. And they were saying that when you get these times as a journalist, you're talking to a lot of people to get a sense of where the club is at. From some of the people I'm speaking to, I think the first rumblings of this cycle we become too familiar with are starting. So the Athletic was saying a similar thing as well, that the feeling is amongst the journalists that obviously have connections at the club or sources and at press conferences and, all of that for Jazzle, are suggesting that it's starting to feel like it's heading down that road. And I get that feeling as well personally. I'm sure some of you will as well in the comments, that we can kind of sense these things, can't we? When it looks like it's the beginning of the end. It feels that way anyway. I hope we can turn it around, because all I want is just to win football games. Like, that's the only thing I'm interested in. I don't necessarily care about who the manager is and stuff. I just want to see us successful on the pitch as well. And it's just so annoying that we can't seem to get it right, whether that's players, whether that's, the board, the manager, the tactics, all of this stuff just all seems to keep constantly going wrong for us, doesn't it? And it's annoying, because I just want us to be back winning games. Or I'd take at the moment, and this is how sad it is, just consistent performances. I would just be happy right now, if you, at this moment in time, the way the club is and everything we've been through recently. I would just like it if we knew what we were going to expect every week from the players and but because how long has it been where we've seen two back-to-back games where you can kind of get a sense of what's going to happen on the pitch as well? And so I'd take that. That would be the first step for me. Can we please just get some consistent performances? And then I think with that will become, hopefully consistent results and so on. But yeah, all I want is just to win football games. But it does feel... I feel like the beginning of the end, doesn't it? But let me know if you agree with that or disagree with that in the comments below, as I'm sure that you will. Now, interestingly, Ben Jacobs on the situation said that Ruben Amorim, I think, doesn't have that many games to turn things around. What he was kind of alluding to was the fact that he may be getting judged over 38 games, not this season. So, obviously, we're coming up to that 38-game period for Ruben Amorim, and based on the results, I think, barring the teams that have already been relegated and the promoted teams, we would be bottom of the table, but based on recent results and stuff as well. So it doesn't look good from that perspective for Ruben Amorim neither. Now, in terms of possible replacements, if he does end up ultimately losing his job, then the BBC was saying that sources say Oliver Glasner would be on a list of candidates to replace Ruben Amorim. Sources close to Crystal Palace say the chances of Glasner staying are remote. Now, apparently he has rejected another contract offer from Crystal Palace as well, because I believe his contract is out in the summer as well. And Ben Jacobs has said that with Glasner, I do genuinely think that he would leave Crystal Palace if he was offered the Man United role mid-season. So Glasner could be one name to keep an eye on. Ben Jacobs was saying that if Ruben Amorim does get sacked, they would likely want to go with somebody with Premier League or English football experience. Glasner was on the list of managers that he mentioned. He did also mention Gareth Southgate as well. With Gareth Southgate, he was basically saying that if United want to think that it's the culture at the club that needs fixing, then maybe they would tip towards Gareth Southgate because, credit where it's due. That's one of the things that he did really well at England was create the, when you listen to people like Wayne Rooney and Ferdinand and stuff, there was a divide amongst England players where they wouldn't even talk to each other or sit with each other. There was an Arsenal camp, a Chelsea camp, a Man United camp, and so on and so forth. And that was the one thing, to his credit, that I think Gareth Southgate did actually do, which was unifying everybody behind the scenes from an England perspective. So what Ben Jacobs was basically alluding to was that if United think that it's the culture that needs fixing, they might actually go for Gareth Southgate for that purpose. But then what he was also saying was that if they think that the results will change the culture, then they might go for somebody with more that's managed more club games more recently, with a bit more experience and stuff as well. So that's a little bit concerning. But give us your shouts and feelings on that in the comments below. But the Mirror, or John Christopher, was saying that Gareth Southgate would reject an approach from Manchester United if Ruben Amorim is sacked. But yeah, we'll just need to wait and see. I think there'll be, but importantly, I think the reading between the lines and from what I've heard online and stuff is that United, I think, are starting to look at contingencies. I think we'd be naive to not start looking at contingencies, but they're nowhere as advanced as what's being made out in the media. I think it's a little bit of media mischief when we're getting linked with all these managers and stuff. But you've got to get the feeling that maybe United are starting to put up a list of candidates that if and should Ruben Amorim lose his job, then we're not left with our pants down. We need to have somebody that we can go for as well. But yeah, give us your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments below. Now, it's been a little bit of transfer news. So Manchester United have actually signed a player. So we've got the famous Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. It shouldn't come as a surprise for this one for Cristian Orozco, because there has been reports last week as well from like South American journalists and a few other places as well that this deal was effectively done, but it's now been given the here we go from Romano, who said that save the name Cristian Orozco. Manchester United are convinced that they have found a gem with this player, a defensive midfielder with intensity and big potential. It's like $1 million as well, which works out, I think it's like £750,000 or something of that nature. For a very, very talented, very highly regarded prospect midfielder that does seem to fit the bill of what it is we're looking for: intensity, potential. He looks like he's a grafter as well, which is good. So yeah, I think this side of things at United is going well. I think we're doing well at bringing in these young players and scouting them, and it's a change in direction for us as well, because for far too often we've missed out on these sort of players, and then we get quoted £100 million with them in 2 or 3 years' time when they become the next when they become Moises Casido or someone of that nature. So yeah, I'm cool with us going down this route as well. But it does look like a decent player. But he's not going to come until July, which is when he turns 18, because the Brexit rules don't allow us to sign any player from under the age of 18. 18 since obviously Brexit. So, but yeah, give us your shouts on that in the comments below. Now, another midfielder we've been linked with is Hayden Hackney. We've been linked with him for a while, but then the kind of links have gone a little bit cold. But this is coming from Dean Jones, where he's saying that Man United Tottenham march ahead for exemplary midfielder. With Fulham too late to the party. So that was the headline. In the report, he says that Fulham are showing interest in Hayden Hackney, but Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United are already ahead in the race for the midfielder. With Hackney continuing to impress, there is now a glowing sense that only bigger clubs will be in a position to tempt the 23-year-old further down the line. Tottenham and Manchester United are among those who have kept a close eye on his progress and could be tempted to firm up their interest in 2026. Does go on to say, though, that for now, Middlesbrough's plan is to keep Hackney beyond January, but it remains to be seen whether their resolve might be tested should firm offers arrive. So effectively what he was saying in the report is that Fulham are showing interest in Hayden Hackney, but their feeling is that maybe Tottenham and Man United are a little bit ahead in the race. So maybe this is somebody that we're re-looking at or going back in for. Obviously, we need to wait for a little bit more credibility, and the transfer window feels like it's miles away at this stage with everything that's going on with the manager and the on-field issues that we currently have as as a club and as a team and, as fans and stuff. But I think he'd be good profile of player. I like Hayden Hackney. I think he'd be worth a punt. I think the Championship is a competitive league. 23-year-old, good ball carrying ability through the midfield as well. Like, I like him. I think it'd be one to take a gamble on anyway. I don't, as long as it's not mega expensive, which I can't see it being that particularly expensive. But I think it will be worth a punt. I do think he looks like a really, really talented player coming out of that league as well. But give us your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Now let's stick with the midfield. So Manchester United are very interested in Yarmouk from Brentford and have put him on the shortlist of midfielders they are looking at. Tottenham, Villa, Dortmund and Napoli are interested in highly rated 21-year-old midfielder. That came from Court Offside. That is potentially a name that's doing the rounds as well. Obviously, Carlos Baleba seemed to be the main one. We've got Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson, Yarmouk. If we're going for a Premier League experience, maybe Hayden Hackney jumps on that list now as well. I'll keep my ear to the ground regarding that, but it does look like they were looking for more, proven midfielders. I liked Yarmouk actually when we got beat by Brentford the other day. I thought he actually looked a tidy player. So that could potentially be one to keep an eye on as well. I'd want to see a little bit more credibility though than where that came from. Court Offside have got some, good journalists that write for them and some medium journalists, and this was from their more medium journalists, I would say, but worth paying attention to, worth keeping an eye on. I think he is potentially on the list of midfielders that we are linked with at the moment. Now, player just mentioned then in terms of other potential candidates for midfield is Adam Wharton. So according to reports, there's an informal agreement that if Adam Wharton doesn't sign a new contract by next summer, he could be allowed to leave for a transfer fee of approximately 60 to 65 million pounds. Now, he is on the list, I would say, or is a candidate or a player that we're linked with anyway, heavily for the midfield position. Probably behind Carlos Baleba, I would suggest at the moment, going off of the reports as well. But if we're being quoted 100-odd million pounds for Carlos Baleba based on his form to the start of this season as well, if you could get Adam Wharton for 60 to 65 million pounds, I mean, ideally, both would be nice, but, that's maybe a little bit outside of our budget and price range if we've got other areas of the pitch we want to strengthen as well. But what does that make him to you? A bit more of a viable candidate, 60 to 65 million pounds for Adam Wharton as opposed to 100 million pounds that's being put in the media at the moment for Carlos Baleba. Whether they'll get that or not, obviously, if his form improves, then maybe they could justify that. I don't think they would get anywhere near that, or we should go anywhere near that deal at that price based on his current form. But he's clearly well liked at the club as well based on his previous seasons that he's had at Brighton. But 60, 65 million pound for Adam Wharton, I think there'd be a lot of competition for him at that price as well. But give us your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments below. Now, as well as midfielders, we've also been linked with a fullback. So this came from TBR Football, where the headline was that Man City will battle Man United for Argentine superstar. In the report, it says that Manchester City and Manchester United are keeping close tabs on the situation of Argentine international Nahuel Molina. Molina's Argentina's first choice right back and considered by many to be South America's finest, has fallen out of favour with Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid. It's believed Atletico, in the report it did go on to say it's believed Atletico would consider a deal in January, and that Manchester United sources suggest that they could be in the market for a new wing-back, and Molina is on their radar too. 27-year-old, obviously out of favour, going off the report, not played that many minutes so far this season for Atletico Madrid. Not a player I've watched a ton of, so I am no expert when it comes to it. But doing a quick research and stuff, looks like a tidy player. I don't know if he fits the bill of what we're looking for though, with the age, not Premier League proven. But I'd be all up for going for another wing back or right back as well, because he plays on the right hand side. I'd be all up for going for somebody like Molina if it meant we don't have to watch Diego Dallo stink the gaff out anymore. Then I would be up for that. But again, a lot might depend on who's it going to be in charge, because if we go back to a flat back four, then I think Mazraoui would be great as right fullback. But if we're going to stick with a 3-4-2 4-2-3-1, or we stick with the formation of Amorim's there, then maybe Molina could be a decent shout because he's a little bit more attack-minded as well from what I've seen. But again, I'm no expert. Let me know what you think about Molina in the comments below. Good shout, bad shout. Give us your thoughts on that in the comments below. And then there's been an update on Sen Lemons. So Ben Jacobs has said that Sen Lemons has been informed that once he's fully up to speed, he'll move ahead of Altay Bayindir in the pecking order. Whether that happens against Sunderland or after the break is still uncertain. Like, what is it's frustrating, the goalkeeper situation. Like, I get that he's new to a new country and needs time to settle in and all of that stuff, right? But you know, he's a goalkeeper. It's not like he's playing outfield and needs to learn like too much in my head. Am I overthinking that? Do you agree that he should be taking this amount of time before making an appearance? And then if he doesn't make the appearance against Sunderland, what are you going to throw him in against Liverpool after the international break as well? Like, there's never going to be the right time to put him in. I've said before, Chelsea would have been the game where I put him in. The home game, crowd would have been behind him, even if he makes a mistake and that, you know. And I think the same for this weekend as well. Get Sen Lemons in goals. I don't understand what's taking so long to put the goalkeeper in. Like I said, if he was an outfield player, young and, you know, coming into the new team and everything like that as well, I can, you know, you've got to take your time with some signings and stuff. But when it's a goalkeeper, like, is it really that deep? And if it is, then maybe the system's so complicated that you can't put a goalkeeper in. Then maybe that's why we're struggling with it as well. But yeah, give us your shouts and feelings on that in the comments below. Give us your thoughts on all the other topics discussed in today's video, because that's you all up to date with the latest news and transfer updates. Don't forget to smash a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. See you in the next one.